This is a box. Here we find a bottle of scotch. I like to drink said whiskey on the rocks. I now present to you Whiskey Talks. Welcome. Today's video we are going to cover my experiences staying aboard the Queen Mary. The ship itself used to serve as a military troop transport ferrying Allied soldiers for the duration of World War II. The present day, the ship remains permanently moored at Long Beach Harbor. Over a year ago, my sister decided on the Queen Mary as her wedding destination. Art Deco interior, nautical ship theme, with the appeal of the marriage being established on hollow, haunted ground. Or steel, in this case. Unbeknownst to my sister, this entire weekend from Friday to Monday morning's checkout would be a complete nightmare. So let's start at the beginning. I drove up Saturday night to check in. Front desk thinks I booked a room for Friday night only. Okay, well, that makes no sense considering the wedding is Sunday, and I booked 2 nights being from Saturday to Monday morning. Small fix, no problem. Okay. Talked to the staff, worked it out. No big deal. Then I'm told I could check into my room tonight, being Saturday, but I have to vacate my room by 10 the next morning because the room I booked is under construction. On a Sunday. Now, I booked a room 5 months ago for 2 nights. But I'm given a room for 1 night, then expected to carry my luggage to the front desk next morning for an unknown amount of time till my new room is ready? I complained, and they offered me free luggage carry. And to waive a $16 fee for the room. Okay, thanks. I mean, I know I just dropped $400 to stay in your hotel. Not to mention, it's $22 a day parking, which they don't validate or discount in any single way, especially if you've booked a wedding there, which, mind you, a wedding there costs well over $15,000. God forbid they could give you free parking for a day to 2. So I argued with them for well over 20 minutes, and they refused to give me another room. They said, "No, sir, that's all we have. You're going to have to move." Now I figure, well, alright, only I got fucked today. But it turns out every room we booked had some kind of huge problem. My friend's room had no air conditioning, and the rooms were well above 90 degrees on average, with a single porthole window in the room as the only source of air. So while we were out eating, the hotel staff let themselves into their room and thought, oh, well, there's no AC, we'll put fans in there. But the staff didn't tell them that, or ask if they wanted them in any way. So they just let themselves into the room without any kind of dialogue between the guests or the hotel management. So they literally just entered this room even though it had the do not disturb sign and everything, which, as you should know, is not okay. All of the girls had their belongings in the room, purses, dresses, any of that could have been taken. Oh, this is just a great start to the weekend, right? My sister was promised a free stay on the ship with her fiance, and they had the surprise of a $1,600 charge immediately taken out of their bank account that night. Needless to say, she was pretty pissed, so the manager tried to pass it off like it was an issue with her bank. She calls the bank. Bank says, nope. Completely the staff of the Queen Mary's fault. We haven't done anything. They're charging you. We've denied the charge. But it won't leave the account because the Queen Mary is still pushing it through. And so the manager finally was like, oh, whoa, sorry there. Hey, it seems we found a problem. And it's our problem that you're being charged $1,600. And it went through. We're sorry about that. Here, we're going to rebate you that $1,600, which we should have done in the first place. Also, we're going to give you a free room, even though that's also what you were guaranteed in the first place. Well, I'm glad to see that worked out for everyone. So after a long day of fighting and arguing over what you should and shouldn't get out of this experience, we just call it quits and go to bed. Take a night's load off. Get some rest. Sorry, going to be a big day Sunday with the wedding. Let's go to bed. So I take a shower. I start shaving. And bam. I hear a scream coming from the bedroom. Girlfriend is hollering. After nearly slitting the old jugular, I shout out what's wrong. She's found a cockroach. I didn't expect a 5-star hotel experience at the 3-star Queen Mary. I didn't. But I wouldn't say roaches were in my accommodations package either. This is the kind of shit you expect out of a motel. In fact, I've seen people and heard reviews of people staying in motels, and roaches aren't even that common of a thing. It's kind of a misconception, you'd say. So, when you go to the Queen Mary, a boat even, on the fucking ocean, you do not expect to be raided by roaches. Not in a $200 a night hotel. I suppose this is why the room is under reconstruction. So I smashed the shit out of the roach, splitting the dresser it stood upon in half. The top portion of it was just smashed, gone. Certainly, a future visitor can form a war story for that dresser's condition. Because it is totaled. Okay, so the girlfriend pushes to complain to the front desk ASAP, but it's pushing 2 a.m. and we have to get up at 8 a.m. I opted, we just sleep, work it out in the morning. She agrees. The following morning, we wake up under attack. A deafening alarm sounded. I lie up to a woman over the intercom. Warning, a fire has been detected on your floor. This is not a drill. Evacuate immediately. We fly out of bed and scatter to grab the bags. The bridesmaid dress and the tuxedo. Everything we could find within what felt like minutes. It was maybe 10 to 15 seconds of grabbing things. And in that 15 seconds, you can hear a guy outside of our room in the hallway of the hotel saying, oh my God, we got to get out of here. He yelled this as if the fire has already engulfed like the entire hull of the ship. Like one half is just a fucking fireball. So we leave the room to a hallway filled with hundreds of people funneling down both sides of the ship. And there's no fire, no smoke at this point. Just a little weird, but all right, fine. Not gonna complain about that. I mean, let's get out of here. So I proceed with the girl to the middle of the ship where the stairs are located. As we quick move, you can hear the whines of idiots nearby. There's an old guy, oh, well, I don't see no fire. I'm going back to sleep. Or a woman nearby, I'm not doing this. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? We gotta get out of here. These are the kind of people that deserve to burn in a fire. So even worse, these idiots are sheep. One guy says it's a joke, and then 100 people believe that man, and they all burn to death, kids included. Just evacuate the ship. They told you to get off the ship. Get off the ship. So once we're at these stairs, I see loads of people going up. 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 Not down. You're on a boat, dude. Why would you go higher? Is your plan to jump off? Because the Queen Mary is a little high. Not to mention the bottom, right where you would jump off of the boat, it's kind of cemented, right? To keep the boat like not in the ocean, like floating, because it's, you know, bolted to the ground. So if you jumped, you would just fucking splat and die. So going up is probably the worst thing you could do. There's at least 2 more flights of stairs that you're going to have to go down from the top to get to the actual area where you can get off the ship. So you're basically just signing your death wish. So I continue down the lobby and find everyone funneling off the ship. People screaming, clutching their kids and belongings. After we all exit the boat, I overhear a guy in his walkie-talkie, one from the staff. He says, yeah, it was some guy smoking in his room. False alarm. As we continue to the ship, I see a girl in her wedding dress who had to evacuate, and to her soon-to-be husband, spoiling their reveal at the altar. I'll never forget when I went downstairs. I caught eyes with my sister. She had the most miserable look. How could this all be happening within only 24 hours of check-in? So much shit continues to happen. Slowly, one problem is topped by another. People lined up, moaning and complaining to the staff who didn't care at all that they pushed the entire boat of guests off with all of their luggage and everything, and then just told them to get right back on. And offered nothing for the inconvenience. Not even an apology. Dude, why don't you just send coffee to your guests, you fuck? They ruined some chick's wedding and gave the worst start to another one. You're not going to do anything to make up for that. Like, what a joke. Where am I? It's a little hard to chill out after potentially running for your life. Okay. So we proceed with the wedding activities, right? From then on, everything was fine. The pictures, ceremony, reception, all went well. But that's mainly because the people who run this department aren't the same as the hotel. And that's one of the biggest issues with the Queen Mary. You tell a guy named Garth one story, and instead of him writing a note on your room number or under your name in the computer to acknowledge your complaint and tell the staff what it is so that when you go to another member of the staff, they already have a little bit of heads up as to what the problem is with you, they don't do anything. So when you go to the next person, let's just say like Charlene, she doesn't know what's happening. She doesn't know who you are. She doesn't know your room number. She doesn't know what your problem was, or that you went through 3 other people, or that the management is already shitting their pants because of what a horrible time you've had. And so you have to explain to this chick, i.e. yell at her like a lunatic, fresh. Like you didn't already do that 50 different fucking times. It gets old. And it gets old fast. So finally we get a moment to check into my new room on the Sunday. Everything seems fine. The AC works. The window opens. But there's this music. Right? And I know that sounds weird. Okay. And I agree. Music, right? Just music. Check the hall. No sound at all. Get a little close to the neighbor's door. No music coming from there. Go into my bathroom. Quiet. No noise. But in one spot of my room, coming from a mirror, there's this distant sound of a piano playing, right? Dun, ba-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun, dun, 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 and it just kept going, right? What is that? It sounds so far away, but you can hear it perfectly from this mirror. So my girlfriend is officially freaked out, ranting about leaving, calling it quits, let's just go home early. I said, look, we're going to sleep. And that's the night. Monday morning, we check out. The manager talked to me about what a horrible experience and that I had to kill that roach and that they even existed in my room. She offered to call me later. She was so sad about my experience. Put her hand on my shoulder. We're so sorry this happened to you. Wow, that definitely doesn't make me feel better. The Queen Mary was one of the worst experiences I've ever had with any kind of business. Everyone involved had a horrible experience that is over 1 star in every regard. For every department on the boat, except for the food. I enjoyed dinner. So did all of my friends and guests. But does one good meal make up for a weekend of misery? No. Stay away from the Queen Mary. They don't care about anything except money. Hold yours close and look away. In the end, my sister got the wedding she always wanted, and I'm really thankful for that and happy that it could all work out for her. But getting to that point was a horrible experience, and nobody would go through it again. Thank you for coming by and hearing my story. This has been the first Whiskey Talks with your host, the Demon Fox. Please take care. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. I make gaming-related videos and the occasional Whiskey Talks.